listeners, and welcome back to The Good Pod. Today I'm sitting down with someone who is a literal builder of community, Daniel Curtis. He runs the Alameda County chapter of Sleep in Heavenly Peace, otherwise known as SHP. SHP operates right here on the same property as the village, and their mission is simple but profound. No kid sleeps on the floor in our town. When Daniel isn't leading teams to build beds for children in need, he often is around the village using his skills as a general contractor to help us keep our tiny homes in tip-top shape. He also happens to be the husband of our own executive director, Kim Curtis, so he is truly family here. Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
For those who haven't been to one of your build days, can you explain what exactly SHP does and why a bed is so foundational for a child's success?
Having a wife of being a social worker for over 20 years has taught me that if we can start young, then we can change and impact lives as they get older. I have always been called to help children. And the belief is if you can help somebody that is in need, that has no control over their situation, has no say in where they live or how they live, that if we can impact them with a bed and do it for absolutely free, we will do that.
Amazing. And I know that we help individuals who are adults usually, especially leaning more towards the senior side of things, but being called to help children, especially while they're so young because they have no say in what happens to them most of the time, is really amazing and is such a great calling. So thank you for sharing that. SHP and Goodness Village share the same property here at Crosswinds Church. So how does being located alongside us, as well as Crosswinds and Eden Garden, help fuel the work that you do?
When I do my morning speeches on a bed build, people come out and the thing that they say most common is like, I never knew this was back here. Mm-hmm. And so I get to tell them how we partner with the different nonprofits here. And because sometimes these people may not be called to sand 2x4s, right? And so they come out one time and they may not come back ever again. And so if I can share the story of the Garden of Eden, which I've seen since it started with just a few seeds in the ground and a wood picket fence, up to watching Goodness Village grow into what it is, to be able to share those stories, they might get fueled in different ways. So if somebody comes out to volunteer and this is their one and only time, but they want to have a green thumb or they want to serve at Goodness Village, I continue to support those type of situations because I don't know what that person is going through. And if I can tell them what we do out here, I'm more than happy to share that story.
And that's a really great part about this property because if you, like you said, aren't into sanding, you can go drop off meals at Goodness Village. If you're not into that, you can get your hands in the dirt at Eden Garden. If you're not into that, Crosswinds has plenty of other nonprofits that they support.
Absolutely.
And I did not mention Triangle Construction, but you are actually a general contractor by trade. And you often help us out with our tiny home repairs, probably more often than not often. But what is it like for you to use your professional skills to make sure that our neighbors have a safe place to live?
When I come out to help, my purpose is to take away some of the frivolous, small tasks that Goodness Village has that they're not qualified for. You know, we have people that are here to help humanity and help people to be able to live in a comfortable space that they can call their own, and not have to worry about how are they going to fix a door lock or how are they going to change out a toilet flange, whatever that may be. And I know what my skill set is, and I know what I can do and can't do. And if I can take away a little bit away from that from Goodness Village to where they can focus on their primary job, I will continue to always do that, only if I'm married to Kim Curtis.
I was going to say, this feels like a hostage situation. Well, we really appreciate the help. And I'm so glad that you said that because that's very accurate. The fact that we don't have to worry about leaky roofs all the time or doors not locking or floorboards squeaking so that we could actually take care of neighbors who are in crisis.
Right.
And you mentioned earlier that some volunteers may not have the skill sets that you have. So in your experience during bed builds where people have zero experience with sanders, using hammers and all the tools that you use, What is it like for you watching volunteers realize that they actually are capable of doing these things?
It's always a funny story where when you pay an employee to do it, you have a higher expectation of their skill set. And then when they're a complete volunteer, you're just like, you're doing a great job. But I feel like if you can lead someone into feeling confident in what they're doing, whether it is swinging a hammer or using a drill, that their natural ability to be able to do it will be successful for what we do. And SHP has really done a really great job to bring in a technique and a way of building a bed that takes very little skill set. And we have trained our leaders there at SHP to help guide them so that way we can show them, be there when they mess up, help them correct it, and then allow them to feel accomplished by the end of the day. So when they see that they've made 30 beds and we share the stories and we put the pictures on the wall of the children that get the bed, they have some investment in it.
Mm-hmm. And do you ever have volunteers come back for other build days after they realize that they can do it?
We've worked really hard the last 3 years out of the 4.5 years I've been running it that we didn't track that in the beginning, so it was hard to do that. But now we use the app Golden, which allows us to see how many hours that they put in here. And for some people I've never met, I can look and they've been out here 6, 7, 8 times.
Wow.
And so then I'm like, how do we reach out to that person and say thank you for your investment in this nonprofit and what it's being called to do? Would you like to continue to do more? Right? And so we want to make sure that their gift is being used to its fullest and that they're not walking away going, I wish I could do a little more. So we try to find ways to navigate that with our volunteers.
Nice. And so, like you mentioned, you've seen a lot of kids receive their very first bed. And I imagine that's very impactful for you. But is there one specific moment that you want to share with our listeners?
I try to prepare for this one, but I try to cry all the way here to make sure that I got it all out, but it can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've seen so many kids be, whether they're introverted or extroverted, friendly, not friendly, that their story is all the same at the end. But there's this one story where me and 3 other guys go, we're downtown Oakland, we're knee deep in it, and we're knocking on this home, and its grandparents are now the custodial parents of 5 kids. And these people are in their 70s and 80s, and we don't know what the situation was. And so we go in with 5 beds, we put them all together, and you can clearly see the home was loved and lived in, but you can see like they took the old mattresses, leaned them against the wall. There was no bed frame, so they slept on a mattress. But the 2 people that stood out the most were these 2 little girls. They were probably 4 or 5. And you can hear Grandpa yell in the background, being just a grandpa, right? Deep voice, stern, things like that. And we build the beds, and as we walk out, we hear Grandpa yelling at the teenagers saying, this is not where I want the beds. So we go outside, and normally we would just walk away. We built the beds, we've done our part, but we said, let's go back in, take these beds apart and put them back together. And so we went back in, we helped them move the other beds, and we put them all where they're at. And in that situation that was tense, you know, the teenager took off to another room, put his headphones on. I can hear this one bed squeaking. So this little 5-year-old's squeaking up and down the bed, and I can't remember what her name was, but she's calling her sister. She goes, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? And all she cared about is that she was getting a bed. And the sister's like, what? We get to have our own bed to sleep in tonight. I cried all the way to the truck because that's the story behind it, the impact. As an adult, we're like, how do we make this situation better? Do we call CPS? Do we report them? It has nothing to do with that. It's about 5 kids sleeping on the floor now have their own bed.
And you're also making it a safe environment because they're not wondering whether you are going to call CPS or 911 or change the dynamic of the situation. You're just here to offer a service, and that service is giving the children a bed.
Yes, and I've had to work really hard to teach the adults to separate that thinking when they go to a home, and to like, you're there only for the kids. And if I can provide a bed, which means 2 things, is that if I provide a bed for a child, they now have a safe place. One, they can start bringing their friends over. Two, they can do their homework in it. They have a place they can go hide to, feel comfortable in, have a good night's sleep. And if we can keep a child in a home because it's a little 2x4, 2x6 bed with a mattress, instead of sleeping over a friend's house or not coming home at all, and then going into a system, and it all is because of a mattress and a bed, we will continue to do that till we can't do it anymore.
So beautiful. So, Daniel, you are married to Kim, our executive director. And I imagine that village life is a very big topic on a regular basis just because of the nature of the job that we do. So how does it feel for you to have your family so entrenched in the mission of Goodness Village and so involved?
Well, I hate to disappoint you, Jackie. Kim's boundaries are quite firm when we're in the house. It's funny because when she walks through the door, she's like, hey, I'm not going to talk about work. But on the specific part about the walk in life that we have together is that we're made to be ingrained with each other on this walk. When we first met and she was working nights and working at a different home and trying to get her schooling done, is that I told her, you go to school for as long as you possibly need, not knowing it's going to be 20 plus years, but you go to school as long as you need to continue to be the person that you always wanted to be. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to support you. And she's done the same for me. When the market crashed and I had my contractor's license and we didn't have work, she was 100% behind me. And so I'm always 100% behind her. And Goodness Village is just another project for her. And I say it has great mission. It has impact in the community. But for her, it's a bigger story. Right? So Goodness Village is going to turn into Goodness Village 2.0. It's going to turn into a nationwide program. It's going to turn into changing people's hearts everywhere because they see something that works. And as much as we want to put that on Kim, is that she was just the person that kind of created the mold for it, and then everybody else is what has made it happen to become what it is. And my little part of fixing some plumbing and some doors is it's just my ability to help with what I can, because I know I'm not a social worker. And if I ever have to go in and take a spot in that yellow house because someone didn't show up, you guys are going to be in trouble, and you should be prepared for that.
Not just us. Well, we really do appreciate it. And it is more impactful than you know. And that's also on True Love, that you guys support each other. Thank you for sharing that part. So before we let you go, Daniel, we have a fun segment that we created just for you called The Workbench. I'm going to ask you some fun questions about your life as a builder so our listeners can get to know you a little bit better. Okay. So answer whatever's on your heart.
Sure.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only have one tool from your truck, what would it be?
It would have to be the multi-tool, because then you can cut with it, you can drill with it, so it's one of those, it's an old one. It's like 30 years old. They stopped making them because they break so easily. But if I'm on a desert island, I'm only using it once. But it has a rotating head, so you can have a jigsaw on it, and the next head is a drill, and then the next head is probably like a screwdriver or something. So that's probably what I'd take.
Okay, that was pretty smart. Are you a loud music in the shop type of person, or do you prefer the sound of saws when you're working?
I do love my music. I have an old soul, so it's that rhythm and blues I need playing all the time. It's funny as I might be building something and I've been listening to a song for 2.5 minutes and I'm like, oh gosh, he's talking about his ex-girlfriend. So I'm like, I need something a little more upbeat, so I just bump it up one. But I like to have that music going in my shop.
Mm-hmm. Now this one might be a little tricky. Are you a measure once, cut twice, or a measure twice, cut once type of guy?
I'm a left-handed person, which means that my artistic side is a little bit more active. So I have to actually measure like 3 or 4 times.
Okay.
Because I'm easily distracted. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, look, a flower. And then I'm like, wait, what was the number? So I'm a 3 or 4 type of measurement kind of person.
And then cut once, hopefully.
Yes.
What is your favorite part of the build? Sanding, assembly, or the final delivery?
I will always say that it is the delivery. Mm-hmm. having your sweat and blood invested in building a bed is my natural talent of what I do every day with my kitchens and things like that. And so when I can give somebody a bathroom or a kitchen or a home that they can see the transformation, I feel the same way with the bed build. It's great that we're all out there building. We got 30, 40 beds. But as soon as you see it go into delivery with its own bedding and the child is just sitting there waiting, it will always be the end result is the best way to go.
Nice. Such a priceless experience, I imagine. Last question for you. After a long build day, what's your go-to way to relax and celebrate a job well done?
Recently, we've been ensuring that after our bed builds have gone on for their 6, 8 hours, whatever it is, that we go and have like a little detox time or an opportunity where we can talk about the positives and the negatives. I'm a pretty controlling chapter president. And if I don't want to lose everyone, I want to make sure that everyone is heard and that if there are ideas that could enhance it and make it better, then I want to be open to that. And really, if you can't do it as a team, then there's no purpose to do it, right? I can deliver beds all day long, but everybody needs an opportunity to share in that. So we'll just go down the street, break bread, have some time together, and then talk about what the impact is and how we can make it more impactful going through into the new year.
And I imagine that helps to grow the organization because you're taking constructive criticism from the people that were actually helping you and do the project alongside you.
Absolutely. You know, when we first started, I had no team. I had 30 beds in the shop. I had money in the account, but then there's no one to deliver because COVID was here. So I was delivering by myself with my employees wherever we worked. If we were close to a delivery, I would deliver a bed. And now, almost 5 years later, we have a core team of 12 and a core volunteer team of about 25.
Wow.
And then we have a work list of probably 300 or 400 people that come out 2 or 3 times a year. So we have grown quite a bit. And we would love to grow more to impact our community.
So before we let you go, I want you to finish this sentence. Being a good neighbor means...
Being a good neighbor to me means helping someone that no one else has ever wanted to help.
Wow. Care to elaborate?
I treat the kids I deliver a bed to exactly the same as the residents that live here at Goodness Village. And a lot of them don't want to talk. A lot of them are introverts. And I find that if we can offer that, whether they're accepting or not, or grateful or not, that's all that there is for that. And for me, as you know, the only way I can connect with so many people is to go through their animals. So if we can make somebody stop and talk to their dog for 15 minutes, they're going to engage you. But these people have come from a background where there was nothing there for them. And to watch our society put up the signs of, there's a job over there, go ahead and apply, they're just not educated in how the transformation works from when you're at your lowest point to having something continually be there for you means that somebody is actually finally helping a person that cannot help themselves. We are meant to be family. We're meant to work and strive in community. Not one person out there, not one, whether you're multi-rich or you have the resources, can make it without another person. We're not built that way. And so that's how it means for me, is to help people that no one else will help.
That was beautiful and makes me think of something that Aaron Horner, who is someone that is very involved with our village, always talks about, which is kinship and how we really can't do anything without each other and how important that is. Is there anything else you would like to say before we let you go for our listeners?
I just want to remind our listeners that even though we've been here 5 years, don't forget us. Just because we're successful doesn't mean we don't need you. The only way we are to be successful is to continue to bring in new volunteers, doing new things, and continue to help us support us. Because without that, when people say, oh, I went out there last year, then that's 2 years ago, then it's 3 years ago. And you're like, I don't remember the last time I delivered a meal to Goodness Village. And we just don't want to be forgotten. So to keep it on their heart and to continue to want to help out the community, whether it's through Goodness Village or through any other nonprofit, but since I'm here for Goodness Village, that's the one that's going to get the support.
Well, thank you for that. And that's very, very true, especially as we're coming up on 5 years this year. Thank you so much, Daniel, for being on our podcast and for making sure that no kid in our town sleeps on the floor and for keeping our tiny home standing strong. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to The Good Pod, share this conversation with your community, and stay tuned for more stories. And remember, being a good neighbor isn't about where you live, it's about how you show up. Until next time, listeners. Thank you for listening to the Goodness Village podcast. Production and recording was done by the Goodness Village operations team with support from Crosswinds Church. Music was provided by Blue Dot Sessions. If you want to know more about Goodness Village, visit us at gvlivermore.org. Thanks again for listening to The Good Pod.